Tonight at 360 Follow, last week we showed you what happened to this little boy, Kirk Andrew Murphy. He was just 5 years old when he got enrolled in a government-funded study aimed at making feminine boys more masculine. It was the 1970s, and the researchers who ran the study claimed Kirk's treatment was a success. They've claimed that for decades now. They concealed Kirk's real name in the study, calling him Craig to protect his identity. That secrecy is why it's taken so long for Kirk's real story to be told. Recently, Kirk's sister learned that her brother was the little boy in that study, a study that decades later is still being cited as a success by people who think they can prevent children from becoming gay. But the truth is that Kirk's story ended tragically. He killed himself when he was 38 years old. His family says he was harmed by the treatment he received as a 5-year-old child and struggled with being gay his entire adult life. Jim Burroway is a researcher who writes a blog called BoxTurtleBulletin.com. He studied the research done on Kirk Murphy extensively. I talked to him recently. Jim, how did you first hear about Kirk's story?
Well, Maris, Kirk's sister, had actually left a comment on my blog one night, and I came across it and responded to her. And the comment was that I had just found out that my brother, Kirk, had been the subject of all this research, and I'm devastated. And I kind of wanted to reach out to, see if I could help her in any way. She had a lot of questions. I answered them the best that I could. And over time, I kind of thought, I didn't know if she was going to be ready to tell their family story or not. So I was really reluctant to engage her. But over time, we kind of built a certain amount of rapport, and I kind of felt that this was a story that kind of needed to be told. She kind of felt that too. We had to figure out how to do it because it obviously involved her mother and a lot of other family members. But over time, we decided that this was the thing to do.
This is something which happened in 1970. Why is it still important today? Why is it important to talk about it today, to reveal what happened today, in your opinion?
Well, I think it's because it's still going on. Perhaps not the particular brand of treatment that Kirk went through, but the fact is we don't really know. The ex-gay movement is unregulated. It has since 1970 shifted more towards a religious-based movement, and what that means is religious ministries, they fall under the First Amendment protections of freedom of religion, and that allows them to do any number of things without any kind of regulatory oversight.
I've interviewed over the years a number of people who, claim to be ex-gay, and what I always find interesting in talking to them, and it's not my job to tell anybody how to live their life, and I certainly have sympathy for anybody who's conflicted about any feelings they have, but the more you talk to them, the more you realize that even those who say they are no longer gay, they still have their impulse is still towards same-sex attraction. Their impulse is, they still have the same feelings. They are just forcing themselves not to act on it. They're basically repressing what seems to be their nature, their basic instinct.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's true for most cases. I mean, Alan Chambers, he's the president of Exodus International. He tells they are actually holding a conference right now in Ridgecrest, North Carolina. A major conference of hundreds of ex-gays from across the country are gathering there. And he will, if past pattern, holds, he will tell his audience that every day he wakes up in the morning and asks God to keep him from doing what comes naturally to him.
Are there resources out there for someone who's been through this kind of treatment where they can go for help if they want?
Unfortunately, what we don't really have is a nationwide network of therapists that, where there's a central location, a website, a hotline where you can find someone near you to go to for help. That's a huge gap that I would love to see filled.
Jim Burroway, I appreciate your reporting, and you've been covering this a lot on your blog. Thank you very much.
Thank you.